We light the Hanukkah every year, and we have stories. Okay, we say that it's during the festival that we remember the story of the Maccabees and how there was a victory by a small force of what amounted to yeshiva students overcoming the mighty army of Greece, and we read about how the temple was in disarray, and the Maccabees went into the temple and they saw that it was all out of whack, and how they restored the temple and how they had the menorah, but they only had enough oil for it to last 8 days, or 1 day, and it lasted 8 days, and that's the miracle of Hanukkah. But Hanukkah means a lot more than that. And tonight, I'm hoping that this is just really short, and I'm hoping that we can impart a little bit more understanding as to why we do what we do during the feasts and festivals. Now, Hanukkah, as we're going to find out, isn't mentioned in Torah as one of the feasts and festivals, but we see Hanukkah throughout the Torah. In fact, the word Hanukkah is used several times throughout the Torah. It simply means dedicate. So Hanukkah means a lot more than just this story. It's not specifically mentioned in the Torah, but it's a celebration much like the others in the Torah. And tonight, we take time to consider the condition of our temple and what we need to do in order to rededicate ourselves to the services of humankind, as commanded to us by our Elohim, and also by his word Yeshua. How do we do this? We consider what was found in the temple when the Maccabees entered it, when the Hebrews entered it. There were idols present in these areas that were set apart for Elohim. Pigs had been offered, and the blood of these pigs was all over the floor, all over the walls, all over the altar. It had been dried and caked from years of neglect and abuse. It stunk. The sweet aroma of the incense that was burned in the temple was no longer there. It smelled of death. We consider the word pig as hazir. Hazir, it means swine, but it also means to enclose. It means something that surrounds. And if we consider in Leviticus in chapter 11, I think it's verse 7, when we read about the swine being unclean for us to eat, unclean in that case means something that is ethically and morally impure as well as religiously impure. And basically it points to idolatry. So when we think about our temples, do we have the blood of these impure things still smattered within the stones of our temples? The Maccabees didn't just scrub the floors and the walls. According to some scholars, and I agree with these scholars, is that they literally tore the temple down and rebuilt it with new stones. When we make teshuvah, we're not just whitewashed, we're restored. We're restored as new. The word eben means stone, but it comes from a primitive root that means to purify. It also comes from a root, bana, that means to establish. So if we consider that the stones of our temple are replaced, are restored, they're made new, they're purified, and we are reestablished in Yeshua. Now, the Maccabees didn't just scrub the floors like we said. They tore it down. We too are made new when we accept the restoration of Yehovah Elohim that he offers us through his word Yeshua. Now tonight is a night of dedication. That's what Hanukkah means. It means dedication. And tonight is a night that we take a special time to show gratitude to our Elohim for restoring us. Tonight, as we prepare to light the Hanukkah, we're reminded that we too are like the bowls of the temple menorah. That we're not only dedicated in our oath to Elohim, that we receive and believe the word and restoration that comes from him through Yeshua. But as the bowls of the menorah, we are also filled with the oil of his anointing. Now, as we recite the blessing, we are reminded that we are indeed commanded to light the menorah, and that the lighting of the shamash, we are committing ourselves to the oath to be a witness to him, the witness of him, to a world that is struggling in the darkness. We become the Kohanim. We become the priests. Kohanim doesn't just mean priests, it means teachers. We're responsible for keeping the menorah lit so that the people don't walk in darkness. We consider we are all teachers. We all know somebody that we help in one way or another. We all have somebody that we shed the light of Elohim to. We all have somebody that we talk to about Yeshua. So we are all Kohen. Yeshua said, you are the light of the world. So as the Shamashim, we are the ones to aid in the restoration of the world by helping those whom we can help to see the light of Yahuwah, who is his word Yeshua. We light the Shamash, and with it, we help in bringing the first day in which our Elohim said, let there be light. We bring in the first day. So, if we have fire thingies, we're going to light the Shamash. We're going to light the Shamash, but before we light the Shamash, there is a blessing that we speak. Considering what we've just learned about rededicating ourselves, examining ourselves to find out if we have anything that needs to be replaced. Considering the fact that we are the light that has been commanded to go and be a light to the nations, that Yeshua said, you are the light of the world. When we light the Shamash, do we understand the oath that we've taken in the Shema? And the oath that Elohim gave to us. He gave us his word in Torah and in Brit Hadashah and confirmed it by the blood of Yeshua to us. So when we light the Shamash, we're saying, I accept my responsibility in my oath to you, and I accept your oath to me. As we light the Shamash together, we're going to recite first this blessing. Everybody ready?
Mike, as you're talking about the cleansing process and the rebuilding, I think that totally fits in. What you need to paper? Totally fits in with what we've been studying and learning about the tearing down, and just we think of the unkosher and the nasty pig and all that in there. Well, such is the ridiculousness of the religious doctrine and craziness that's come over the last 17 to 1800 years. And such as that, and that cleansing, I think fits very much in this. And as we dedicate and we cleanse our house, then the big part of that is we continue that process of discovery, uncovering, and loosing and removing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm thrilled that y'all have been listening, because it's frustrating for me. I teach classes, and I give them this information, and it's like everybody's nodding their heads, and a week later they're asking me questions that we covered in class, or they're going back and reverting to an old doctrine that we just discussed as being, hey, that's crazy. So, as Seh HaElohim, it's wonderful that y'all understand, because it makes me feel like, good, I'm doing something that it's being accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that from a lot of you, and I appreciate y'all very much. But we're going to recite a blessing. It's a very simple blessing, but we consider everything that we've just discussed as we go through it. And I can say it, y'all can repeat after me if it's easier for you, or we can all try to do it at the same time. So we begin. Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'halek ner shel Hanukkah. Blessed are you, Yehovah, our mighty judge and redeemer. You have set us apart with this mitzvah and have commanded us to light the light of Hanukkah. So now we would like the Shamash.
There's one in the
And with the Shamash, we reflect on our duty and our oath to not to our Elohim. And with the Shamash, once everybody has it lit, we take some time to think. We continue to light. But with the Shamash lit, we pull the Shamash up. And we go to the right. And we light the candle to the right, the first candle. That brings in the light of the first day. That brings it forward, reminding us to walk in the renewing light of Elohim's first day. That we are no longer in darkness, we are no longer empty and void, that we've been filled by Mashiach. That we have received the word, that we walk in the word, and we have received the light that Elohim spoke forward. Again, this is a time of year to reflect on where we are in our walk with our Elohim, and to reevaluate our love for our neighbor. So having brought in the light of Hanukkah, we now rejoice with fellowship. We say Happy Hanukkah to all. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah to all.
Encourage those candles, sister.
That's right. Encourage them. Name of Yeshua HaMashiach.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah. Turn the window on.
Yes, it is. Oh, wait.
Hey, we can modify a song. We can sing a bit of "Oh Holy Night," the night that he was conceived.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tonight, technically, he would have been conceived tonight.
Yeah.
He would have been conceived on the first day
Yep.
of Hanukkah. And on the first day of Sukkot, he would have been born. On the 8th day of Sukkot, we call it Hoshana Rabbah, the Great Redemption. On the 8th day of Sukkot, he was taken and circumcised and given the name Yeshua, which means the redemption of Yahuwah. So,
So we're going to sing the song, did you say?
do you have the words?
Oh gosh. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Messiah's conception.
Well, you know, to tell the truth, when you're conceived, you are a child.
According to Jewish tradition, you become a human being at your conception.
Which is accurate because there's a spirit living and breathing in there.
Exactly.
So what's the second verse?
It's the one right after the first.
What was the second verse of that?
Long live as we're singing
He
appears and the soul felt its word. The weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks
most divine night was the night he was conceived. The Ruach HaKodesh.
The angel did appear to Mary
It was
a few nights before.
the
Yeah.
redemption of Yahuwah, the redemption of Yahweh
Is
is
what
what
Yeshua
Yeshua means. It means the restoration, deliverance, redemption.
Is that YHWH?
Yes.
No. It's just easier that way. Through the anointing of Mashiach fell on Miriam, and the rest is history.
Next year, I had started modifying on this year, it was just too late and didn't get the copies, but, so for Sukkot, we'll have our music properly worded. And maybe we'll do the same thing to add a few Hanukkah.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
That'd be exciting.
If we can get them back, what is it,
CC,
yeah, right after Passover, that'll give us time to study. So,
Well, on that subject, does anybody have any of those songs in big sheet music that we could photocopy?
No.
I just had no hymnal by the time I wrote on it, you know, or tried to modify it, it was,
I used to, but I don't know more.
there's gotta be a source
We
online to
could
get it.
take it, we
He
could
probably
take
could
it
find
on and find it online,
Yeah,
take it,
mhm.
cut or copy and paste it onto
Sure,
a Word
sure.
document, and
Yeah.
then just go into the Word document
yeah,
and
there's
adjust the
there's
words.
gotta be a way to do it, yeah.
I may already have it on the computer.
Has anybody ever researched any to see if any of the Messianic groups ever modified any?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, they're so hung up that it can only be classical Hebraic tune.
Yeah,
Another one of those religious dogmas, you know.
we have, yeah, I think we can probably put something together.
Yeah.
We'll,
Well, thank you, Sandra, for chiming in. That was a big help.
Oh, you're welcome.
wow, this is
I
tough.
bet
This
she
is-
sang
this is
those a
pleasant.
few times in the choir competition.
Huh?
I bet she sang those songs a few times in choir.
I went to college on a chorus scholarship a long time ago. You know,
Yeah.
if you're not music, you release it. So.
You didn't lose it.
I used to sing in the choir at high school, and then I went to college and sang in that group. We traveled around, and then I was in a quartet, so just girls who sang around. Then after all that, when my girl and I married and went to Florida after 3 years, a lady down there got me in Sweet Adeline. So y'all familiar with
Oh,
that? The
nice.
barbershop and group, and I used to sing tenor in that. That was fun. I had no idea it was that competitive. They're very competitive.
Folks, while we're in this moment of quiet and we've been in reflection, is there any particular items that we need to agree together on, lift up in agreement? Yes.
It's personal, but it's also just facts. So I think everybody's matured enough to handle it. I have been dealing with a prolapsed uterus, which has put pressure on the bladder. So we're trying to get that surgery done, and I found a doctor, and we're trying to get it done quickly, and
Yes,
so it'll be done
effectively.
and also with the insurance.
Yeah.
So the surgery is right now tentatively scheduled for the 30th of this month.